Now, another example is using fruit for sexual pleasure, like the banana. Who would teach you to do such a thing? God, the angel of life, the tree, or the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? You understand what God is saying here. I show you good things. He's showing you good and evil things. Mean evil, mean evil. Now, if God shows you natural sex, who would show you obscure sex? Satan. Right. Who would show you unnatural sex? Again, Satan. But what's unnatural? Is it unnatural to do oral sex with your wife? Even if it gets on her skin and garment, is it considered wrong? I don't know. Who's judging you? Again, God or Jesus? Or Satan? Who's judging you? Who's judging you? Is it you and Satan? Who taught us the knowledge of good and evil, which means you have to judge what you're doing as right or wrong? Who made us naked and not ashamed, even if we had sex in Eden before the fall? And who on day 7 could have showed us obscure sex and make us ashamed of it? You can't figure that out, huh? Or you don't want to. And guess what? No one can make you. If you don't want to know the truth, you can deny it. Until you die. Until you die with Satan. Because Satan is the one killing you for the knowledge of good and evil. He's giving you, man, no. Because he killed himself for what he did with Adam and Eve too. Ezekiel explains it further. He not only had sex with Adam and Eve and introduced them to anal sex and had 2 holes to Adam's 1 hole, and he was a virgin that way. And it was his first time ever being penetrated by anything except for Eve. In the reality of it, we know in part according to Paul. Anyway, in the new, we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, that which is in part shall be done away with. Now Daniel also said, knowledge shall increase, not just of human beings, but of science, of medicine, of even war. And Peter warns of fire destroying us in the future if we keep condemning each other and playing God to each other. When you judge someone, you're acting instead of God, right? That they're doing something wrong in your opinion. And I'm not saying there aren't rules to play by. Everybody has to play by. But there are. You do not have sex with a child under 16 in Georgia. 18 other states. That's called the age of consent. Even, I guess, if you're the same age or younger, I know you're okay, but if you get 16, 17, and 18, you need to think about it and not do it with someone under 16, right? What part of that is crazy to you? Or are you just not wanting to listen to everything I'm saying? A prophet don't just tell you parts of the truth. They try to tell you the whole truth. You just write the parts you're comfortable with probably down. The parts you want to deal with at the time. Now, why did one of David's children with Bathsheba die, but not the others? Did he perform the little dust and water test on her for 7 days to make sure the child was his, and it killed the child because it got into her breast milk? Probably. But would David tell you that's how he did it? No. Did the Bible tell you that's how he did it? No. But if you're using the Bible to try and understand why the child died, if you put dust and water and had the mother drink it for 7 days, that might would do it. See, you're only supposed to do that test once, and you're supposed to get a swollen belly if she cheated on you or something. If she didn't, by the way, either. But David might have been a dumbass and tried to do it for all 7 days after the child was born. And that killed the child's internal stomach lining and made him bleed internally and die. No. Now, if you understand medical science and why you're not supposed to put dust in water and feed it to a mother, which would kill your own child, whether it was yours or Uriah's or not, right? You would understand more than meets the eye with that tale. But for some reason, one of the children he had with Bathsheba died. And the only logical thing they say you can do if you have a spirit of jealousy come upon you is put dust from the tabernacle into some water and have the woman drink it. Though it was only supposed to be for 1 day. Now, David, because of what he went through, that's why he had the men to retreat from Uriah. To see how he fared fighting alone like he had to with Goliath. Most of his life he was fighting alone. Well, see, this is Game of Thrones. David has owned his throne in Jerusalem when Uriah and his wife hatched their little scheme. The question is Uriah in on it or not, too? Are they trying to put Uriah's baby on his throne? And that's why you gotta do all that, whether it is or not, right? You don't know what's going on. You're a human being, right? But the knowledge of good and evil also means, what if it was David's child as well? He killed his own firstborn son with Bathsheba. What if Uriah never had sex with others and went to war first? Though the Bible says you're not to do that, right? Maybe he didn't. No. And David had her as a virgin, but he didn't want to admit it, right? We don't know. But there again, she's bathing naked where David can see her. We know he had at least 17 women or 16 women before her, right? Including 10 virgins in Jerusalem, which Absalom also slept with. I know. Why? Because, again, father is a ladies' man. No. And he's, again, trying to take over his father's throne, so he's proven himself sexually. But David also forgave him. He also understood being the king he was. He realized all that was his fault and his denial of Bathsheba, right? Because virgins always bleed the first time, right? If you don't bleed, you're not a virgin, right? And if you don't want me to know if someone bleeds, she's supposed to be a virgin if she's 15, not if she's 37. But if she's 37, she still might can bleed if it's around the time of her period. I don't know. Whatever. But that's why you ask questions. How old are you? 37. Right? Whether something happened in the bathroom or not, right? But you don't usually get upset if nothing happened. I didn't have that problem in any other salons. Just yours, Orchard, TN. What did you do? Now, if she invited me into the bathroom, there's nothing that stops me from going with her or her with me. So I'm glad you got a camera view of it. Did it just show us going into the bathroom and that's why you forbade me to come out there anymore? Because you know and saw it during the 20 minutes we were in there and then showed up and showed your ass and interfered with my memory of it somehow? I bet you did. Liar. Judger of Satan's sins and your own sins. We all sin with Satan. There's none that doeth good, do not one.